The Choir Guys podcast wouldn't be possible without our amazing sponsors. To see the full list and learn more about them, visit thechoirguyspod.weebly.com/r-sponsors. Now here's a word from this week's featured sponsors. Encore Tours helps choirs perform around the world with guaranteed audiences, stunning venues, and expert support. Start planning today at encoretours.com. If you want inspiring, ethically published choral music, check out Endeavor Music Publishing. Their composers earn 5 times more than the norm. Support these composers at endeavormusicpublishing.com. One teacher said it best: this program has been life-changing. S Cubed helped her small choir thrive, even with a mix of abilities and zero prior experience. If you want to build confidence, consistency, and community in your classroom, S Cubed is the way. Successful sight singing starts here. Hello and welcome to this week's episode of the Choir Guys podcast. My name is Blake Richter.
And I'm Danny Gutierrez.
We have a special episode today brought to you by our diamond sponsor, S Cubed.
Yes, our guest today retired from public school teaching in 2022 after an incredible 30-year career teaching middle school in North Carolina, New Jersey, and Georgia. He is known worldwide in the choral music education community as the creator of the S Cubed sight singing program for beginners. Over the past year, Dale has conducted the Colorado and Mississippi All-State Choirs, led regional honor choirs, and provided professional development for teachers across the country in person and virtually.
During his career, he was honored as a Grammy Music Educator semifinalist, and one of his most important life missions is and always will be to help middle school choir teachers, and I am very thankful, as is Danny. Dale loves his crazy cat Odie and sweet doggy Bo, and he's currently obsessed with coaching and competing in pickleball. Please welcome Dale Duncan, the pickleball
Thanks
master.
For having
is
me
here.
too. Yeah, I'm glad to be here, and I just told my husband to keep the dog. We were keeping a dog tonight, so we have 2 dogs, and I keep them quiet.
Yeah.
Nice.
I have an important question for Dale and for Blake too.
Yes.
And I'm embarrassed about this question, especially being in the company of greatness, but I have to ask it. What exactly is pickleball?
What?
Can someone explain it to me?
Do you
I
not-
know tennis.
Hey,
I know like other games that I used to play in New York with a racket and a wall. But what
basically,
is
you're just
pickleball?
dinking in the kitchen. You know, that's all.
If-
That's all it's about.
You're
All right,
dinking
so I'm
in the
coaching
kitchen? That
it.
makes no sense, Blake.
Yeah, you're just dinking in the kitchen. Sometimes you'll slam it in people's faces, but you can't slam it in the kitchen. You can only dink it in the kitchen.
This makes everything way more confusing.
Dale,
Dinking
do
in
you
the kitchen,
understand what
slamming
I'm
in people's
saying?
faces?
Yeah, I always tell everybody if tennis and ping pong had a baby, that would be
Yeah,
pickleball.
basically.
Tennis and ping pong had a
I guess.
But
Yeah.
also wiffle ball, kind of.
There's the wiffle ball piece. And in fact, I just got off the pickleball court, as you two know, because I was rushing in a little bit late, and it's addictive. I'm telling you, like when I retired from teaching public school, I was a little bit lost in the beginning. I was going to Missouri to do all state, but I didn't have anything else planned because I retired like a year earlier than I planned. And I found pickleball, and I took 2 intro classes. And after the 2 intro, I was like, I'm ready to play. So I went out and played an open play, and this 80-year-old woman named Faye, this is a true story, blind in one eye and could barely move.
That's perfect for the pickleball court. It's perfect for the pickleball court.
Like, I don't know, 2 months. And I was like, this is not okay, because I'm still pretty, like, I'm agile, I'm athletic, I have an athletic past, and I just was not okay with that. So I started taking lessons and clinics, and then of course, as I do with everything, I got so obsessed that then I became a coach and I started competing and blah blah blah. It's just what I'm doing.
Wow. So now we should be on the lookout for Pickle Cubed coming soon.
Yeah.
But no,
Pickle cubed.
I'm not going to do that. After I did some competitions, I was like, I think I don't want to do competitions with pickleball. Like I really just want to help people be better and help myself get better. Like I like mastering it to a certain level, but like the competitions made me feel kind of a way that I used to feel when I did aerobic gymnastics, and I did that, and it's over, and I don't need to do that at this juncture. It just needs to be fun.
Yeah, that's how I view pickleball. Like, I've been in a couple tournaments and not, done well, but I had fun. And one I did with my dad and one I did with my mom. And so, it's fun to get to hang out with my parents and do that. But they're serious about it. Like, they play, I think my dad plays, he plays Monday nights, he plays Tuesday mornings, he plays Thursday mornings, he plays Tuesday nights, he's going on Friday this week. Like, I don't know. It's just crazy. Wow. And my mom is in like a women's league on Wednesdays. So like my dad takes care of my daughter on Wednesday mornings so my mom can go play pickleball. My mom takes care of my daughter. Like, it's literally the care of my child is surrounded by pickleball and pickleball schedules. So it's very much a part of my life in a roundabout way.
If you go to open play, like an open play situation, which is what a lot of people do, it's easy. There's a cast of characters that are always the same. Like anywhere you go to New York, you go to Georgia, you go to where you guys are, always the same cast. Someone needs to write a show. Someone needs to write a musical.
There's a movie coming out. There was already like a Hallmark Christmas movie that was like Pickleball Christmas. I did not see it, but I don't know if you heard about it.
I didn't.
And then the guy who plays Nick in New Girl, Jake Johnson, that guy. He stars in this movie, so it's got to be good if he's in it.
Yeah.
So I think we'll maybe we'll have like a viewing with you through Zoom or something. We can watch it together.
So. We have a student that plays pickleball with Blake's dad, Dale. And he always comes in. He's like, "Tell Dale I said hello."
I've played with that student's father on my team, and we destroyed Dale. My dad, Dale.
Yeah. Your dad's Dale. Okay.
Yeah.
It's getting younger. The sport's getting younger. Like when I started in 2022, it was only old people. That's all I ever saw. And it was kind of cool for me because, I have taken good care of my body over the years. I've made it a priority, and a lot of choir teachers aren't able to do that. Like they have families with kids and they're doing what choir teachers do, right? Which is, it's consuming, and I didn't have kids and I was able to come home and take care of myself in ways that you can't when you're running a giant choir program and trying to raise your kids, which I'm sure a lot of teachers who listen to this know. And so I am thankful to be able to run around the pickleball court, but it didn't help me with Faye, the 80-year-old, because you don't really need to move that much.
Or see, apparently.
Exactly.
It's a neon ball. Like you can see it. Hey, speaking of you coming to Missouri in 2022, I think is when you were here somewhere around there. That was the first time I had met you, and I guess the only time I met you. And I was in charge of like the sound and stuff for that conference. But I remember this was a very vivid memory of, I was like, I don't know if this clinician is going to want to use this microphone. It's like one of the Britney Spears microphones that is just a wireless headset microphone. And then I realized you had taught, middle school for 30 years. And you're like, this is the only type of microphone I would like. I need a Britney Spears microphone immediately. And then you did like a backflip or something in front of all the kids with the Britney Spears.
It was a cartwheel. Those backflips are over for a long time ago. Yeah. When I finished, when I came to you guys in 2022, like when I was asked by Holly.
Yeah, Holly Dawn.
Yeah, she was so sweet, and she asked me before I decided to retire. And I knew I would retire in the next couple of years, 3 years, something I didn't know, but I didn't know I would retire that summer. So when I finished my school year, I hadn't done nearly, I had picked the music and whatnot, but I hadn't like done what I do now for all states and for I dig so deeply into it. But when I chose the rep, she helped me because I was like, I need to start doing this, I need to start doing these types of things. This is what I want to do when I finally finish teaching.
Yeah. It was good rep from what I remember, and the kids loved you, and my students loved you.
But now I have learned so much. Like now when I can go to adjudications, and I never wanted to leave my kids, like I didn't want to go to adjudication for 3 days. My kids needed me, So I finally got certified to judge choirs here in Georgia this year. It's the first year ever. And Alabama had invited me for probably 4 or 5 years. And I've learned so much from that. Like, because I was kind of behind on the rep stuff, you
Yeah.
know? Like, you guys are in it. Like, and when I was in it, I was in it. And then at the end, I was just kind of hanging on, like, oh my God. And then COVID happened. And then
Yeah.
yeah,
That was fun.
yeah, good times.
All right, Dale, well, tell us about your musical journey. How did you get to where you are today?
My sister is 6 years older than I am, and she got a lead in an opera that her music teacher chose in this rural town in North Carolina. And she came home and said it was a mall in the night visitors, which and I had never sung, and she said, I'm going to give you a voice lesson, and you're going to be a mall. And I didn't really know what that meant.
The
I was 10.
unchanged little boy voice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's what started it, and our musical bond. And so I got the part along with another friend who was just, like a church friend of ours. And then I just started singing. And then after that, I started, I went
Wait,
to
how old
school.
are you? How old are you when that
I
happened?
was in fifth grade. It was my
Fifth grade.
first
Wow.
moment. And, I had never, I'd taken piano some, but I wasn't great at it. And I practiced, but I wasn't natural. I would get nervous. The anxiety got to me, and that's been a struggle with everything, really. But that was why I felt like singing felt. I don't know why I was less anxious singing, but I was. And then I did boys choir, and she went to college at UNC Greensboro in North Carolina, so I followed suit, and then I taught there. And when I started, I had no idea what I was doing. I had 6 years of training with masters and no idea how to teach middle school. That's the truth. Like, I felt so unprepared, and it was not their fault. It was just that nobody is able to prepare you for the realness of teaching day to day. Y'all know, and everybody who's listening knows, right? And I felt like such a failure. Year one, total failure. I remember that summer, some of my friends who went to college with had gone to festival adjudication, and they'd gotten superior ratings. I didn't even go. Like, I was so afraid to go. So I know that a lot of your listeners probably feel this right now. Like, they're terrified of what's going to happen. I didn't even go. And then the next year I got brave enough to do it. But that summer I remember sitting and just petting my new puppy because I felt I was in a coma of just what just happened. And I want to be on that cruise ship that I just sang on before after my master's degree. That's what I want to be doing, right? And then the second year I started competing in aerobic gymnastics, and that was kind of my way of expressing myself. And that kind of appeased something within me that allowed me to continue teaching. And then the third year, I felt like things were turning, as it always is. Really, I think, for me, when I moved from state to state, the third year is when it turns. Obviously, the sixth graders are now your eighth graders, right?
Yeah.
And I felt like I was starting to get it. And then the fourth year, I was like, I think I can do this. But my kids did not sound good. They didn't sound good. Like, I have heard choirs of teachers in their first, second, third year in adjudications now who are phenomenal. I couldn't get that to happen, and I didn't know how. And so when I went to, I finished my fifth year, I met my husband, and I quit my job, and I moved to Louisville, Kentucky. I was competing. I had won nationals, and I didn't teach that year. And then we went to New Jersey, his job, and
I'm sorry, just clarification. Competing and won nationals in what exactly?
Aerobic gymnastics.
Yeah.
Well, okay, gymnastics.
So if you type Dale Duncan aerobics, you'll find out all that. Like, that was a whole other life. And
hence why you're always doing cartwheels and backflips and stuff with honor choirs.
Yeah. I mean, that was a huge part of my life for a long time, like until COVID. I mean, it was a huge part of me. And I mean, I competed, and then I coached, and then I judged internationally. It was a whole other life. And I did it while I was teaching, and I loved every second. And it's a very important part of my world, and I still love watching it. I love watching the Olympics because of it. I wanted to be an Olympic athlete when I was a kid. When I was like 10, I saw it and I was like, I want to do that. And we didn't have the money for me to take gymnastics. I was jumping on the trampoline all the time.
Well,
But
some people would say teaching middle school choir is an Olympic sport. So
oh
I
yeah,
think you did it.
yeah, for sure.
And I mean,
So,
how many Olympians can say that they competed for 30 years?
right. Yeah, I mean, every day that you're doing it, it takes a lot, and you're doing a lot of gymnastics in various ways. Yeah, so I mean, in New Jersey, I saw this inspirational teacher. I went to an adjudication with my kids, and I couldn't believe the sound that she was getting from her kids. Like I was like, how does that happen? And so I went and watched her. I just took sick days.
Yeah.
And we didn't have social media then, so I wasn't seeing all that people see. So I went and watched her and listened to her, and then she just helped me. Like I just from watching her is what I needed, and that helped me raise my bar. And then I started getting better sound out of the kids. But still, the things that I was producing from my kids was not the stuff that I've seen from, I mean, it took me a long time to be able to create the nuances that I've seen from a lot of teachers. And I feel like I was attracted to beginners, and I wanted to always serve them because they were mostly what I had,
Yeah.
and I've never liked it. When I was in high school, I had a choir teacher who had this group that was the elite group, and I was in that. And then all the other kids were just whatever. And I did not like that. And I felt like every kid that walked through that door in a public school should get everything you've got. And you should take them from point A to as far as you can. And that's always been kind of my modus operandi. And when I have gotten these opportunities to do all states or honors choirs or whatever, I feel like now especially I can really focus on creating the things that I wasn't always able to do in my classroom. The nuances that I needed to be better at, I get to do. And I enjoy that part. And I'm hoping that will continue in my life because it's nice. And it's nice to just do it for a day or two. Because you guys are in the grind, and I know what that grind is.
Yeah.
It's hard.
It's fun, but yeah.
It's fun, but it's hard.
Yeah. It's funny that you say, you said that, was it your sister went to UNC Greensboro?
Mm-hmm.
We literally, in our class today, we Zoomed with Dr. Carrie Adams, who's over there now. She was at Mizzou, and now she's over there. And we Zoomed with her, who's at UNC Greensboro, with her music education class. So that's crazy that you said that. We did that today. And then another thing is I talked to their students right afterwards, and they had really great questions. And one of the questions was, what would you say to us, aspiring music educators, of how we can, properly get ready for the field and all that kind of stuff? I said, go watch people teach.
Do you remember when you were in your training and you went to watch teachers then?
Yeah, I watched Danny.
Did you?
Yeah, he was one of the people that I had to go observe. Had to.
Well,
You had to observe.
and now look at you. But it's so different when you've been in the classroom, running your classroom,
Yeah.
to go and watch a teacher. I took it in completely differently.
Yeah.
Because when you're in your 20s, early 20s, and you're doing that, you think, oh, I know what to do, but you don't.
Yeah. Well, I thought I don't want to do this for a career, so I don't really
Did
care
you
about
after
this.
watching
Yeah.
him?
No. He's actually, I give him a lot of credit for me being a music teacher, because it was when I watched him that I was like, oh, I could do this and I would have so much fun with this, because he was literally just getting paid to be a goofball because he was a middle school teacher.
Well, what was interesting because when you observed me, I was in my 20s at the time. I was just doing every crazy thing that came into my head. And I do a lot of crazy stuff now, but even more so then. And Blake is a brilliant learner. He just kind of assimilates everything he sees. And then he was like, oh, okay, I see what he's doing. I see what he's doing. And then he started his career and he's like, oh, I'm gonna do all that stuff. And he did it perfectly. And then he added his own stuff. And I'm like, wow,
Basically
this
stole
is kind of crazy.
the Danny Gutierrez method.
But I think Blake is kind of an anomaly in that regard. His ferocity for learning and acquiring knowledge, even from day one, has been crazy. So,
That's
but
awesome.
I definitely can relate to that. When I was doing my college stuff, I remember observing a middle school classroom actually in the town that I live in right now in Springfield. And I remember one time the cooperating teacher said, "You don't really want to teach in a school, do you?" And I'm like, "What?" It's like, "Yeah, I can see, some people are kind of not cut out to teaching in a school, and like this is probably so you I could see you teaching at like college, but not at middle school,
Mm,
huh?" And I'm like,
interesting.
"I Yes, I don't know. I think I could do it." Like I didn't know how to respond to that. And it was just because I was quiet. Ironically, I was quiet in my observation process. And
Hmm.
but and I remember like observing everything and thinking, okay. And I just kind of took it all in. I was very like, okay, I will do this. I won't do this. I will do this. I won't do this.
Yeah.
But of course it doesn't really hit home until you're the adult in the room and all the kids are looking at you like, "What now, teacher?"
Yeah.
That's when it gets real.
Yeah. And then it's some failure. I would go home each day and kind of think about the things that went well and the things that didn't. And then I would ask myself, why did that not go well? What did I miss on that? Or how could I do that differently? And then at the end of each year, in the beginning, I would do the same because, I mean, that self-reflection helps you, get better. But I just felt ready by year 6, I guess, I knew I was committed and I wanted to see the best teachers and the best choirs that I could see, so that I could just improve. And New Jersey was a critical time. I was there for 5 years, and that teacher was critical. And then their adjudications, they didn't have sight singing. Isn't that interesting? They had no sight singing component. And I
That's New
remember,
Jersey for you.
I know it's
Sorry,
it's.
I'm from New York, so I kind of have weird
Oh,
feelings toward New Jersey. So
I'm sure you do.
yeah,
But Patrick Freer, you guys know him, Patrick
of
Freer.
course we know Patrick
Yeah,
Freer.
Patrick Freer was up there when I was up there, and
Yeah.
he adjudicated my choir, and he was so. They had like a workshop situation. It was so helpful. And then he and I came to Georgia at the same time. I mean, it was just coincidental. Like he came here, I came here the same year, and I started, and I spent most of my career here. And he was down the street. I think he's still there at the Georgia State. So our careers have kind of paralleled.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Nice.
So when I think of like middle level and when I first started teaching, like a little bit later, I guess too, there's three people that come to mind. One is Henry Leck. So I
Yeah.
love Henry Leck and I read all of his books. I met him one time and I really fangirled hardcore after him because he's amazing.
Yeah.
The other one is Patrick Freer. So back when I first started teaching, when I just got a middle school job, I looked up on Amazon, put middle school choir. There was one thing that popped up, and it was like his manual to choirs and some other thing, how to build a middle school choir program.
Hmm.
And then later on, the only other middle school thing I could find was, of course, Dale Duncan S cubed.
Oh
And
wow. Was
and
that
I
early in
encourage
your? That
well, it
was early.
wasn't that was a little bit later. That was like 2000, I think it was like 2016 or so. I don't know when you started the business, but I'm
I
assuming
started 2013, but it was nobody
okay.
really found it till 2014.
Yeah, so maybe it was a little bit earlier than that too, but I was so impressed by it that I just encouraged the entire district, which is the largest school district in Missouri. I was like, "Hey, middle school teachers, we need to like do this. This is extremely reasonably priced, and this is really helpful." And I just encourage everyone to do it because it was so like amazing. So Dan, there's the Mount Rushmore, one, two, and three. Dale Duncan.
I appreciate that, and being in the company of those people because Henry Leck was really influential for me as well at UNCG. Hillary Opfelstadt helped me understand his importance, and then Patrick Freer. I mean, I told you that already, but then when we came here, he came into my classroom, and I had student teachers of his, and I didn't really realize at the time what a force he was in middle school, even though he had adjudicated my choirs and that our paths crossed was really awesome. And yeah, so he was, yeah, that was a lot. That's a lot of people. And I'm glad it's people like you both who know, the reason people know about my program is because of you. Honestly, nobody, I tried to write a book in 2000. In fact, in 2008, I wrote it 9. And it just didn't work. And I wrote to Patrick actually then, and I said, I'm trying to get this out there. And he's like, I don't think it's going to work this way. He's, I don't think it's going to work this way. And he was right, because the book didn't work. And then I also sent it to Greg Gilpin, and he really tried to get it going. And I mean, he took time, and he emailed me several times. And then in 2012, my husband's in the corporate world, and he reads business magazines. And he said to me, I think this is your avenue, TPT, Teachers Pay Teachers. And I had never even heard of it. And I was in the middle of school year, like you two are, and I put everything into my program, and I was like, I'll look at it in the summer, like we always do with everything. And in 2013 summer, I looked at it, and what I saw was these cute lesson plans for K2, pre-K 2. And I don't do cute. Like, it's not me. Like, it's not, and I'm not creative artistically that way. And, but I was sitting there looking at it going, well, I have always liked to watch teachers. And so maybe I could set up my iPhone 4 in the corner of my classroom and just film myself doing it. And then I could make some PowerPoints, and I'd never done PowerPoints, and it showed. But I was like, I'll just do some PowerPoints, and I'll just throw some lessons. I'll put my lessons in there, and then I'll put some teaching tips, and I'll talk to the camera and kind of tell them the things that might be pitfalls, because my goal was for them to be successful, the teachers, and for their kids to be successful. That was my goal. And so I just put all that in there. And then I released them one lesson at a time through the school year, 2013, 2014. And teachers, I sold them, I think, for $3 a piece. And teachers wrote reviews, and I'm so grateful for them. And they helped me clean them up. They helped me fix misspellings, like so many things. I'm so grateful to every teacher that did those things. And they would leave a review, and then they would send me an email and say, hey, that misspelling, that kind of stuff. And then at the end of it, I had put bundle number 1 together. It was April of 2014. And I was so happy to finally have series 1 together. And I put it in a bundle, and I put it up on TPT. And this mean teacher who is a TPT seller, I'm not going to say her name, wrote really mean review, which everything she said was true, but it was just like, oh wow, okay, I need to clean this stuff up and then redo it. And I was able to do it in very short order. But her feedback actually helped, So those reviews were really good, and they really helped me, and they continue to help me. When teachers ask for something new, hey, it could benefit from this, I do it, And I just had this teacher recently, who I'm working with now. Her name is Pamela Weaver. She's in the choir room on TPT. She wrote me last April, and she said, I've got this new supplemental program for your program. We've been working together, and we're doing a Zoom later this year. Her program is great. It's like a reward system for S cubed if you achieve these skills. So it's really cool that teachers are creating things based on that, and that it can help teachers make S cubed even more effective. I love that, and I'm excited about it and thankful.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yep.
I know we'll talk more about S cubed in a little bit, but I know my co-teacher, Lauren, and I have benefited from it like crazy.
Good.
She purchased it when she taught in a different school district, and then obviously brought it over to our district, and wow, it has changed the game with our beginner level choirs and everything.
It is so brilliant
Yeah.
in its simplicity.
Yeah.
It is so brilliant in its simplicity, how to teach people from square one.
Well, and the scaffolding is
that's exactly
genius.
that's the point. Yeah. So, and I think when you start a classroom with early readers, it's like how do you do it? You kind of rely on some people that just naturally get it, and then you say, all right, sight read as a class, and then those kids are carrying everyone. No one's really learning much, except maybe they're enjoying it if it's taught in an entertaining way. This just quantifies how to properly scaffold and approach this kind of daunting concept of music literacy for young students. It's really amazing.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate that. I took piano some. We all enter the choral profession with some music background. And most of our students don't, at least in my experience. I waited for, Mozart to come in there and lead the alto section. It just never happened. And I wanted every child who came through my classroom to leave able to read some,
Yeah.
even if it's like language, right? If you don't continue to speak it, you lose it.
Yeah.
But when they're with me, if they're with me for 3 years, they were going to leave literate. They might not understand the concepts behind it or the theory behind it, but they could read better, my eighth graders, than when I finished my master's degree at UNCG. And there's no fault in anybody that ever taught me UNCG. There's nothing. I love that school, and I'm thankful to that school. But when I was taught sight singing, you know how you have to do that ear training, the sight singing class?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was with the Walkman, walking across the campus, listening to every example that was supposed to be on the pay, on the exam, so that I could get an A. Listen to it over. I played them on the piano, then I listened to them over and over and over. And I would sit down with the teacher, the professor, for the exams, and I would just sing on la. And the minute I'd see it, I knew what it was. I wasn't sight reading. I mean, and I wanted my kids to be able to do it, and that's why I did it. And I did it because I failed so much. Like I hated it when in North Carolina they had quarter notes, and they would have a half note on measure 4. That was it, and it was unison. I was so bad at teaching it that my kids couldn't get through the half note, and it was stepwise. And when I came to Georgia, I was like, I got to fix this, And when I came to Georgia, their sight reading component was for adjudication was so high, I couldn't believe it. And I called a colleague who had taught here for a long time, and I said, "Is this real? Is this really what they have to do at adjudication?" And she said, "Yeah, it's real. A cappella after 5 minutes, 3 parts, dotted quarter, eighth note rhythms, like skips as wide as an octave. Seriously? I couldn't have done that even at the end of my master's degree." And she said, "Yeah." And so I remember that year I went to the adjudication, and I had this wonderful sight reading judge. She still sight reads. She still does the judging. And she said, okay, she helped me through it. She knew I had done my best, and she helped me through it. And I heard everything she said. And then that was really the finishing touch I needed to put together S Cubed. It's the failure. It's the teachers in the sight reading room. It's all the stuff. And my program is just one way to do it. There are so many ways to do it. And so many people take my program and they do something completely different with it. I'm fine with it. I don't care. Just use it as much as you want, and then change it to what you need it to be.
Yeah, that's kind of what we do. Like we have, I think it's, just your normal package. I don't know which bundle or whatever she purchased. But we do that with our non-audition choirs, like our beginner level choirs, and then our varsity groups or our audition groups. We do it for the first quarter. We do like a review. So we pick like specific lessons from S Cubed, and we like review it. And then that way they like remember everything that they learned in their beginner level choirs. And then, we move on to more sight reading factory stuff. Now our non-audition choirs, they're using S Cubed all year long, and they're using sight reading factory for assessment because it has that auto-graded assessment now.
So good. I love that thing.
So it's like we kind of pair the two, and this is the first year that we've paired the two, and gosh, these kids are reading like crazy. I would argue that some of our beginner level choirs that are using S Cubed all the time, they're reading better than our varsity groups. So I think it's awesome. It's a fantastic program. And again, we'll kind of ask a few more specific questions about it here in a little bit. But before we do that, let's say, first of all, you are a psychopath because you taught middle school for 30 years. Mm-hmm. I am also a psychopath, as is Danny. We're both
sitting
teach,
among them.
Yes, and we love middle school. Now, a lot of people, when they think middle school choir, they're like, run away. I do not want to be a part of this. If you went to a university music education classroom, you've got a classroom full of all these aspiring music educators that probably want to just teach high school. That's just, it seems
Yeah.
like that's the thing. Why would you,
Or they want to teach college
or they
too.
want to
That's
teach
what I
college?
mean.
Yeah.
Sure.
So why would, if they asked why you did middle school for 30 years, what would you tell them? And like, why should they consider doing middle school, and why is middle school so special?
Okay, I'll start there, and then I'll start with how I ended up there. Because it's so, and I say that because I did end up there, but it was the universe doing its thing. They're special because when you're in front of them, and you care the way that we care, and you're as silly and the way that we are, and the reason that we like that age, they've never had anything they've cared about ever in their lives other than a video game. They're kind of coasting, you know? Like, I know, Danny, you have a seventh grader, right?
Yep.
And I know you're his choir teacher, and I asked you about that in the pre-show, but I'm like that's, you know what this is. Like, they don't have most of them don't have something they really love yet. And so when they see a teacher in front of them who is giving everything they can to them, and providing opportunities for them to shine, and giving them a voice, and meeting them where they are so loyal to you. They will, I get the goosebumps thinking about it. Like, I've got stuff in the basement down here that my husband says I need to go through because it's time, and I can't do it. Like, the things that kids have written to me and given to me, and I just can't do it. I'm sorry. Somebody's gonna have to do it after I'm gone, because that stuff, I mean, those things matter, you know, and they really do care about what you give them to care about in ways that nobody else did. I taught high school for 1 year, and it wasn't for me. And I always thought I wanted to do it. I thought of it as a promotion at the time. And that year probably was tainted by New Jersey and 9/11. And we could see the towers across the thing. And so that probably tainted my view, and what it did to the kids after and all that. And anyway, but it doesn't matter. I was supposed to teach high school just like everybody who's 21 in music school thinks they're supposed to. And I was in getting ready for my student teaching, and the day before, I had high school lined up. I was excited. It was a good high school. I got a call from the supervisor saying, you're not going to be there after all. The teacher's not well. You need to go to this Allen Middle School place. And I was livid inside. I didn't say a word, because when you're that age, you just take what this is whatever it is. But in hindsight, from where I am now in my life, that's exactly where I was supposed to be.
Yeah.
And I went there, and that cooperating teacher was brilliant. One of the best things she ever said to me was, middle school kids see through you. And that is so true. They see through you. And I believe when kids get older and they're taught the rewards of being fake, some of them adopt that. And I don't like that. And some of them do it by 8th grade even, you know. And I like the kids, just the realness of the middle school kids. And the fact that they are mostly just who they are, and you can just be who you are with them. That's the thing. So that year with high school was not for me. And when we got to Georgia, I couldn't get back to middle school fast enough. And I found my right spot.
Yeah. Middle schoolers will also tell you what's up, and they do not have any shame. For example, 2 days ago, a kid came up to me and was like, "Hey, found your podcast. I subscribed." Then I immediately unsubscribed because it's not funny. And also, it's just not for kids. You need to make it more for kids. I was like, "You're right. It's not for kids. It's for music educators. If you want to be a music educator, great, listen to it. If not, please don't listen to it. Unsubscribe." But she was just like, "It's not funny." I unsubscribed immediately. If you saw your followers go down, that was me. I was like, thank you.
That's funny.
That's the best thing ever. I mean, when I was building, my program, and I used YouTube at the time it was 2013. I didn't know what I was doing. I was just like, I'll put the videos out. I'll put them on YouTube, and it'll be the easiest way to get the links into the PowerPoints.
Yeah.
And then people can see them. And at first, I just made them all public, and trying to get that into the ether. And then my kids started finding it, and I remember them at some point. I'd never really paid attention to how many followers. I didn't care. What I cared about, because I wasn't trying to make money on YouTube. I was trying to provide a way, an avenue for teachers to see me if they wanted to watch me the same way that I watched so many teachers who helped me be a better teacher.
Yeah.
And I wanted to have a way for teachers who needed a teaching tip to find it. And if they didn't want S cubed, but they wanted a classroom management tip, they could go there and look at it, just something for the day. So I remember a kid said, I think you have like 5,000 subscribers. I'm like, I don't care about that. I mean, I'm glad. I don't want it to go down, but it was an avenue for me. Yeah. And I used to think if YouTube goes down, I'm dead, because like all those videos are there. But I was just kind of winging it, It's like we do in the middle school classroom, like you do every day, like I did every day. I mean, you have a plan, and then you divert from the plan when you need to do it, and you have a goal in your head, and you want to achieve it, and you try to find the ways to do it.
Yeah.
So
perfect. Running school social media on your own is exhausting. But with Class Intercom, you don't have to. We've been using it for the past 3 years, and it's completely changed our process. All of our social media accounts are connected in one place, and students can contribute content that gets routed to teachers for approval. It's streamlined, empowering, and honestly, fun. We've seen more student engagement, better content, and way less stress. If you're ready to go from overwhelmed to organized, check out classintercom.com. Sight Reading Factory isn't just a tool, it's your new assistant choir director. This powerful platform generates an endless supply of customized sight reading exercises that match your choir's level and focus areas. Whether you're prepping for contests or building daily literacy skills, SRF helps students develop real fluency with auto-graded, standards-aligned assignments that you can send straight to their devices. It can even integrate with your gradebook, so tracking progress is seamless. Add in features like solfege toggling, individual part practice, and full octavo support, and it's easy to see why SRF is the gold standard in choral sight reading. Try it now for as low as $3 per student at sightreadingfactory.com. And thanks again to SRF for sponsoring this portion of today's episode. Choir directors, we've been where you are. You need a fundraiser that actually makes money that your students will enjoy. And most importantly, a company that you can trust. That's why we've worked with Kansas-made frozen pastries for over 5 years now. They've helped us sell over $35,000 of pastries in just one fall season. We took home a profit of almost $18,000. The pastries are incredible, the service is outstanding, and the entire experience is smooth from start to finish. If you're ready for a fundraiser that actually delivers in every way, head to kansasmade.com. You won't regret it.
All right. So, Dale, who's your favorite gymnast of all time?
the ones that were most influential to me when I was so young and inspired by the Olympics was Olga Korbut. She was Russian, and I was 10 or whatever, maybe 8.
Okay.
It was 1976, so I was 12. Yeah, that was a moment. I think I'm pretty sure somebody will do the math and I'll be wrong, but she was like so. It was just. She was just, I don't know, I was just captivated by her performance, and she had these little pigtails. And then 4 years later, it was Nadia Comaneci, and she got a 10. And that was a thing. And I was like, oh, I want to compete in gymnastics. And I would, the whole aerobic gymnastics thing for me, I think, was me living my childhood dream. When I could finally, I didn't have any money. I mean, teachers, when you start, you have no money. And I loved it so much that I was like, I'm going to find sponsors and I'm going to, figure out a way to get on the national stage and win a national medal. And it took a lot. But, I think that childhood dream is just like you guys know every day. It's what you're doing. It's what the teachers who are listening to this are doing every day. Just by getting up and doing your best for the kids, they're seeing what you're doing, and they're making their own little goals, and one day they'll be doing their
Well,
thing.
so this is great because this is going to connect to the question. It's a
Yeah.
gymnastics choir question, so good luck.
Hmm.
So somehow you're inside of a room, and there's like 40 people in the room. On the left side, you have Nadia and Olga. They're there with you. I don't know if they're still alive, but they're here in this
I
scenario.
think they are.
And yeah, great. And then on the right side, you have a choir of middle schoolers. And Nadia and Olga look at you and say, listen, the fate of the world is in your hands. In 1 hour, you have to get these students to sing at a super high level. You've never met these students before. Let's say it's for the sake of the argument, let's actually call it an SAB-ish ensemble. Let's say eighth grade. Okay. How will you save the world and get these kids to sing well? You got 1 hour to do it. Olga and Nadia are watching. They're inspecting this. How are you doing this? How are you getting them to buy into a concept, to buy into a sound, to sound amazing in an hour? Obviously, that's relative. Will they sound amazing? I don't
Have
know.
they
But
ever
how will you get them to
sung?
sound? They have moderate pitch matching abilities. They can pretty much match pitch.
Have they ever sung?
Do they
Yes, they
know
can
the
pretty.
music?
They no, well, so let's
Can they
say, okay,
speak?
yeah, I know. These are great relevant questions. You can tell you're in the classroom if you're asking these questions.
Yeah.
So let's say they moderately know a song. Let's say they moderately know, I don't know, Shoshone love song. Okay. You have to get them to sing Shoshone love song at a high level in an hour. How are you going about this process?
And they're watching.
And what's their IQ
Nadia and
level?
Olga are watching. I can't. That's a relevant
And so that
question.
means they don't know anything about what I'm doing. They just want to see if I'm good at what I'm doing. That's what I'm
They are
hearing.
they are sent from the heavens to see your work here, and if you are successful, the
Even though they're
world
still
will have
alive.
peace. Yes.
Well, that's fine too. Well, I would definitely be starstruck, but at the same time, I would do what I do, which is I would have the kids who have, I guess, they know-ish the song. I always have them sing through the song first. Um, and I say to the kids when I'm in this situation, like with an honors choir or whatever, um, we're going to pretend it's Friday night at 7 and this is the performance. This is the first thing I do after the warm up, the vocal warm up. I would warm them up and then I would say, you're going to pretend that this is a performance. Like right now, sing the song. And I've never worked with this accompanist, whatever, and usually I haven't. We've never worked together, and and we're going to do our best. If we fail, we're not going to stop. We're just going to keep going. And so I let them, if they fail, that's fine. I'm going to keep conducting. And then we're going to finish, and then we will learn from that failure, and then I'll know what I can do to make them better. And I might not be able to make them sound incredibly great if it was a total disaster, but I'm going to help them be better. And if I am really nervous about it, I'll make a recording of that first sing through so that I can play it back in the end of that hour when we've done some stuff. And that way they can feel the improvement. Even if it's not huge, it's usually I have to take the boys and into a stairwell, and we have to sing like at some point so they can actually hear each other, because so many choirs don't have boys who have other boys in their choir that they can hear. So I'll put them in a stairwell with me, and they're like, oh my God, I'm with other boys who actually sing, and so I can hear that kind of thing. Like I have a lot of little magic tricks up my sleeve, but 1 hour is short, so I don't know.
So let's say within that hour, how would you go about getting them to sing with, let's say, good tone? Like what is your go-to? Like, okay, this could
Oh yeah.
potentially work if I do this thing with these kids right now.
I use ooh vowel a lot. Ooh is my favorite vowel. Once I can get them really tall, I can get that sound that rings, even though I can't maybe in an hour teach overtones. When they experience what an overtone is, even in that split second, it's a valuable moment. And ooh helps you do that, helps them do that. And that kids, when they feel something, that matters. Like, I use this all the time because I used it my whole career. And when I retired, the kids gave me this. It's a Maya Angelou quote: "People forget what you say, they forget what you do, but they don't forget how they make you feel." Right? Maya Angelou, incredible to me. And when you get kids to feel something, no matter if it's an hour or if it's a weekend, you get them to feel something, several things, a few times during that time. The words don't really matter. And you have to have the tools in your tool belt to help them get to that feeling. And then after they felt some of the things that you want them to feel in that short amount of time, an hour or whatever it is, then I always want to make sure that at some point we connect to the real spiritual meaning of what the song is. Because we spend so much time on technical, and we need to, right? We need to clean things. We need to make sure the rhythms are correct. We need to remediate, blah, blah, blah. But at some point in that hour or in a weekend or whatever it is that you have, you have to stop doing that. And you have to go for at least 30 minutes or 45 minutes. What is this song? What is it? What does it mean? What are the words? What does it mean? I mean, why was it written? You have to connect to that. And then I feel like with middle school kids especially, you have to let them tell you what they think it is. Right?
Yeah.
And there's no wrong answer. And there's no wrong answer. And like I always say, I want your eyes to be alive. I don't want it to be fake. I don't want you just to smile because you think you're supposed to smile. That's just not real. And that's middle school kids. They know when it's not real. I want to feel that you understand something connecting to your life, to your spirit. What means something to you, that you can connect. And it doesn't have to be what it is to me. And then sometimes I will say what it means to me, and why I chose the song. I love Broadway, right? And almost everything that I'm given the opportunity to do, there's going to be a Broadway song, and it's usually going to be the last one. Because that just brings me incredible joy. When I did Colorado All-State a few years ago, I was very ambitious, and I was scared. I chose 6 songs, and it was a treble choir. And the final song was "Children Will Listen," and it was an arrangement. I can't remember the composer now, but it was beautiful. And it just gave me goosebumps to listen to it. And it had this kind of small orchestra. And I've never conducted like an orchestra. Like, I was way out of my comfort zone. And I was doing 6 songs I had never conducted before. And I was working on it really hard, and I was scared. And when it was time to do that song, it went well. I'm like, oh, that's good. But there was another song I thought I'm going to have to cut. And those people nailed every rhythm and every pitch. And it was the most artistic experience of my life. But, I was willing, going back to your hour question, you have to be willing to cut something if you need to cut it. You have to be willing to know that you're not going to get the result that you think you might want to get in the time that you've got. And you have to be okay with it, because the most important thing for whatever it is that you're doing, an hour, a week, a year, 2 days, is the kids and how they feel. And what they go home thinking when their parents have come to watch it. There's people that matter to them. What you want them to go home and their parents go, y'all, you were great. And then that means something to the kids, and then the kids, their level of interest in what we do raises.
Yeah. Love it. That's awesome. Yeah. I think Nadia and Olga would be so
I think they'd be
honored.
okay with
it.
And I'd get goosebumps because they would be starstruck. I would be starstruck.
Let's be honest, sight singing can be intimidating. One teacher shared, "I failed sight singing in college, twice. But using S-Cubed, my middle school choir is thriving. They sight read together, stay engaged, and even correct me when I mess up, and we laugh through it together. That's what S-Cubed is all about. building a culture of confidence and progress no matter what your background is. Whether you're new to choir or just want a stronger method, S Cubed helps both students and teachers succeed. Join thousands of directors who found their solution by purchasing S Cubed today. Are you looking for music that moves the heart, inspires voices, and elevates your choir sound? Check out Endeavor Music Publishing, your premier destination for fresh, expressive choral compositions and world-class composers. One of those composers is Cedric Hoeseb, a composer all the way from Namibia. A self-taught musician whose love for hymns in the Lutheran Church choir ignited a journey that led him to composing for school choirs. Cedric has become a powerful voice in the choral world since. At Endeavor Music Publishing, they champion voices like Cedric's by publishing works that are rooted in tradition, enriched by culture, and designed to uplift. Whether you're leading a choir, directing worship, or planning your next performance, their catalog delivers authenticity, excellence, and artistry. Experience the distinct sound of Endeavor. Discover Cedric Hoeseb's works today at EndeavorMusicPublishing.com. Are you a Choir Guys listener thinking about an international tour? Encore Tours is your partner from the first call to final ovation. They help choirs of every kind, like students, church groups, and community ensembles, plan custom trips that include amazing venues, guaranteed audiences, and all the logistics support you need. Find out what's possible and get started today at encoretours.com/choir-guys.
Okay, Dale. So we talked about S Cubed a little bit. Now I want to know if a teacher goes to Teachers Pay Teachers, they look up S Cubed, they purchase it. What are they getting, and how would you use it in your classroom?
Well, first of all, you can get it from there and JW Pepper because not everybody can purchase from TPT.
Oh yeah.
And there are a variety of bundles available and single lessons based on your needs. Like when I created it, I saw my kids 50 minutes a day, 5 days a week. That's an ideal setup for you to complete level 1 in a single school year, right? But I know that not everybody has that luxury, so I decided to create smaller bundles, but they all start with the same lesson and they all get you to a certain point. I have a bundle called Elementary Bundle, which is like just 5 lessons, and maybe that's when you get there, they're doing some sight reading and they're using hand signs and they've had some ear training. I feel like ear training is critical, and we use the hand signs in lesson 1. At lesson 2, we do more hand signs called Follow the Hand. At lesson 3, we do ear training. And it's like a week at a time based on that model, 50 minutes a day for, 5 days a week. But you can purchase a single lesson at a time, and you can purchase the elementary bundle. You can purchase a level 1 if you see them and you can complete it in a year. You can purchase the mega bundle if you want to go like all in. You think one day I'm going to teach high school, I covered all of the mega bundle in 3 years of middle school. But people who teach high school would definitely want to move with all of it. If you have beginners in 9th grade, like I called it middle school because I taught middle school and I wanted to be authentic about what it was for me. Yeah. So people who buy it in high school, they would modify it in whatever ways they need to for their students for the age appropriateness of it. But you could take beginners in 9th grade and go to, by 10th or 11th grade, they're killing it and they can go to whatever you think they can do. For when you have your advanced singers. You're getting the scaffolding, as you guys mentioned, for how to teach this to beginners. And it is a scaffolding. Like there are so many ways to do this subject. Mine is just one, you know, and it worked for me. And so I put it out there in ways that you can modify it and use your personality, your approach. And that's what I want people to do.
My favorite thing about it is I don't have to use my brain that much. I look at lesson 1, day 1 or whatever. I think my co-teacher Lauren, she's a genius, and I think she's taken all of your stuff and like organized it even more to benefit. Like I don't know how it's originally set up. I've only seen what Lauren has created. I think she organized it for like what better suited her students, which is what you said you wanted people to do. But then that's just how we've done it in Nixa. but like every lesson, you just click on it, and then it's like a bell ringer, like bell work. You talk with your neighbor about answering these questions. And it's just like a music theory question or, some sort of question that applies to what you're about to learn. And then we go into, a rhythmic exercise, and you're clapping and counting and all this kind of stuff. And then you're going into follow the hand, then you're going into forbidden pattern and all this stuff. And then it goes into the sight singing example. And, I love everything about it. And again, I don't know how much of that is in your original bundle or what things she has added.
Oh, it is. I mean, every bundle starts with the same stuff.
Yeah.
And I tried to create different bundles so that people wouldn't need to purchase more than they needed.
Yeah.
I have a teacher now. I mean, she's been purchasing one lesson at a time for probably 7 years, and she just kind of does what she is able to do in that year. Like, you don't have to get through the whole thing.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, honestly, when I created level 1, I was just trying to get to LGPE, which is our adjudication, and help my Georgia kids succeed with that really hard sight singing requirement.
Yeah.
And I know other states have some really hard sight singing requirements too. Like, when I first started, I would hear from Texas teachers like, can we do this with audiation? I'm like, sure, but I wouldn't start with this program with audiation until I would, like, lesson 27 is the final one of level 1. I would say by lesson 21, you can start audiating. But if you start before that, you're going to defeat the purpose, because my approach leverages kinesthetic, visual, and oral, all of it.
Yeah.
To me, I couldn't have audiated again in my master's degree. Like, I was not able to do that. I did not have that skill. I don't know if it's my learning style. I need to move, hear, and see.
Yeah.
And that's what S cubed, that's why I created it the way I created it.
That's all you need for pickleball too. You just got to move, hear, and see. 100.
Blake, I have a question for you. So for varsity singers,
yes,
are you doing 3-part as far as S cube goes, or are you like what is exactly? Because I don't know exactly.
So again,
what happens there.
with our varsity groups, we did first quarter. We did like we didn't go lesson by lesson. We just kind of took pieces of your different lessons from S cubed and put it into kind of like a varsity choir refresher to kind of review, after the summer has happened, review everything that they learned in lessons 1 through 27 within, a few months, which is a lot. And sometimes, it'll go into second quarter a little bit. And then now when we do sight singing, we still do follow the hand. We'll still do forbidden pattern sometimes, but we just go straight to sight reading factory, and they're doing like 4-part level 3, and that's what they're doing in that class. But again, we could, and maybe in the future, because I love how everything is set up with S cubed, we might purchase some of the harder levels and those different bundles, because it might be. I would assume it's way better than what we are doing with our varsity groups, and it'll go farther.
Well, real quick, I'll just tell you, like, just from how I created it. Level 1 for me, it's just treble. It's 2-part, and I was just trying to get my 6th graders able to achieve adjudication at our spring event and be successful, and that was 2-part. And so when I created level 2, which is a part of the mega bundle, I had SAB by then, and they had all been trained in level 1. So the SAB needed to happen because now I had these mixed voices back in. But again, people can do whatever they want with it, and mine is just a suggestion. Everybody who's using it has had a college education and their own experience, and they should do with it what they need to do, including using Sight Reading Factory. I mean, I love that auto assessment thing is it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is not our, Blake, this is obviously not our professional learning time or whatever we want to call it, or collaboration time. But I think, like, ultimately, it's something to consider, Dale, too, as far as like possibly extending the curriculum a bit. Ideally, it would be nice to have our curriculum that went from 7th to 8th to actually ninth grade, because I've realized, and I thought this after this year, especially with becoming a lot more familiar this year with the SQ curriculum with the class that we co-teach. It would be great to use that as an extension point. I don't think the freshmen are ready to just jump in the sight reading factory right away. I would like it to be more of a bridge there too. So I think I just need to do additional research on the curriculum and think how we can use that crossing over to freshman year as well, because I think
Because how
there's
many
so many
levels do you
valuable things
have?
there.
Well, there's really only two.
Okay.
There's level one and there's level two. And what I did, I taught level one to my sixth graders in 2013, 2014 school year. And I recorded every day. And then in 2014 summer is when people kind of found it and like it was selling. And I'm like, what's happening? It was that kind of situation. And then I had them as seventh graders and I just kept watching it evolve. And I'm like, okay, well then I need to show people what I'm doing with my eighth graders, the ones who were sixth graders, and now they're eighth graders. And so then I created level two, and that was the SAB situation. And because by then in my setting, I had them as SAB, the changed voices. And that was a 15-week lesson-ish, something like that. But then I just put it in a mega bundle for people. Like once you purchase it, you have it for life, right? If you purchase it yourself, and if your district purchases it and they want to transfer it to teachers, there's a transfer thing you can do.
Yeah,
So,
I think I misspoke. Lauren purchased it herself, and then that's why she was able to bring it to us. I don't think her district,
for sure.
because I feel like if I'm mistaken, then we'll repurchase it in our district because you deserve to get paid for that.
Here's the thing I feel about that. And in my experience, my personal experience is teachers don't generally steal.
Yeah.
I know that they don't. And here's my other approach to all of my entrepreneurship has been anytime a teacher has emailed me and said, "Could I buy it at a bargain? How much can you afford?" Literally like $20, that's fine. Let's go. Like that is really, and I've given it away for free countless times. Like I've done giveaways because I know people are in districts who can't afford it.
Yeah.
I know that. And I was in those districts and I have been in that situation. And anybody who's watching this now, if anybody emailed me like that, because that has been a key component to my approach to offering this, because I know.
You're not like hunting down people like, hey, you changed my copyrighted material. How dare you?
No. I trust.
To get weird, things are going to get weird. In this
No, never have. I have worried about AI a little bit, to be honest. Like worried that people can find it on ChatGPT and do stuff with it. That has worried me, and I just have tried my best to have the faith that people won't do that, and they maybe will.
That's so sad.
Yeah,
it's okay. The universe changes, life changes, and I've done everything I can to protect it. I remember somebody asked me early on, when it started succeeding, don't you want to get lawyers? And I'm like, no, I don't actually. No.
Yeah.
My name is all over it. My face is all over it. Everything about me is all over it. And anybody who did that has to go to bed at night and sleep with themselves.
And also, you'll have to deal with all of the other Coral Army that use S-Cube that would fight for you.
Right. Because I still pour myself into it, because I know that new teachers can benefit from it if they need it.
Yeah.
No. I wish I had been that new teacher who didn't need it. I wish that had been that new teacher who just had this natural ability to teach it. I didn't.
Yeah.
Well, you're saying this, but if that happened, then S-Cubed as we know it would not exist.
Yeah.
You're happy that it exists because it benefits us all.
Yeah. No, it's literally like teachers that are listening to this, go get it. It has, again, we've used it the past 2 years in our building, and I will never go back. And also, I will be looking into level 2 as well, just because, again, Lauren Bowman, who's my co-teacher, I give her all the credit for really exposing it to me. The first time I heard about it was when you came to Missouri, and then she started teaching with me the year after that, and she brought it to our district, and I'll never go back. It's incredible.
I wanna propose the level 3. I really, because if we're at
I don't know what to do.
He's retired.
If we're adamant about 7th, well, I mean, he needs a project. He needs.
Honestly,
he's
no.
got
My life is so full. My husband's like, "What are you doing tonight?" Like, I mean, my life's full. But like, when I finished level 2, I literally said I used Sight Reading Factory because I could put anything on the board and the kids could read. They could do chromatics and all the things I couldn't do. And so to me, Sight Reading Factory made sense. And so I just used, after they finished level 2, and you can do it earlier than that, right? After level 1, whenever you want to do it. But that's why I collaborated with them. They started their journey when I started my journey. We started sharing at the same time. And I was watching them going, they're doing something sight reading too. And then when I realized what they were doing and how good it was and how useful and how inexpensive it was, I was like, that's great for people who already know how to teach this subject.
Yeah,
I did not.
That's the issue, is like it doesn't have a curriculum with it. It's a tool, but it does not teach it. And that is what is it's a great pair. You guys should go into business together. SRF.
We are actually. I mean, we have been. Like,
you guys are both podcast sponsors for us, and so that's why it's like we're promoting both you guys because we love both.
Well, but they have that new auto assessment thing is incredible, right? But they've always been incredible at what they've done. Like that for teachers, like I said, who know how to teach a subject, this is it. Like, you do your thing, you throw it up on the board. That's why years ago, I mean, in 2014, we started using promo code SQ for that because it made sense. And that's why I hosted Don Crafton last summer, because that auto assessment thing is it. It tells kids immediate feedback.
Yeah.
Those are the ways that things happen in life. The natural way, the honest way, the real way, the hard work way. If you do that, you're going to get what you want from your journey, your musical journey, your entrepreneurial journey, whatever that is. It's all going to work.
Well, Dale, I know you've got a pickleball session at 6 a.m. and I know it's 9 p.m. over on the coast right now, but
listen, nothing is like, if I had to get up and teach middle schoolers tomorrow, that would be different. Going and teaching Angie Park a pickleball lesson.
Shout out to Angie Park.
Angie is 76 years old.
Yeah. You need to show her the podcast. She can become a subscriber too. She got a shout out on the podcast.
And then she'll be like one of my middle schoolers and be like, this isn't for pickleballers. I'm not listening to this.
We should be sassy with the kids in the morning. Like, listen, we could be teaching Angie right now, but instead we're with you. So
we're with you.
Come on, guys.
Angie's a saint and you are not. So come on.
She's serious about her pickleball.
Yeah, there you go. Well, thank you so much, Dale. Like, this has been awesome. We've been wanting to have you on for a long time, and thanks again for being a Diamond Level sponsor. That is huge for us, and I know we will promote S Cubed from the mountaintops for the rest of our lives.
Because we believe in it. Because we genuinely believe in it.
I mean, I didn't know what to expect last year when we started it, and then we did it, and I was like, oh my gosh, they are sight singing so much better. And it's just like slowly paced, and the scaffolding, it's incredible. So you're a genius, and you are the king of middle school. And so thank you for everything that you've done for us middle school teachers and beyond. Everything that you've done for the choral profession. We really appreciate it, and I know all of our listeners do as well. So thank you for being on.
Thank you. I hope it helps people. This helps people, and thank you for the opportunity.
Well, that wraps up this week's episode of the Choir Guys podcast. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube to the Choir Guys channel so you can know when new episodes are coming out. Listen and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
We cannot be more thankful for our incredible sponsors, Dale Duncan included. Please make sure to visit their websites and check them out in the description box below. If you're interested in partnering with the Choir Guys, please email us at thechoirguyspod@gmail.com. Special shout out to our diamond sponsor, SQ. Let's go. Thanks, Dale.
You can follow the show on all social media at the Choir Guys Pod to catch bonus content throughout the week. You can see more Dale Duncan this week. And if we find some amazing gymnastics videos.
Yes, I was about to tell you. I was about to say that. Find the gymnastics videos.
It's all there.
It's going all over our social media. So please make sure you come back to the Choir Guys pages to see all of them.
You better believe you will see those videos this week. You better believe it.
I think I'm going to use AI to edit them so that way you're doing solfege hand signs as you're doing
upside down. That's what I was literally thinking.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to see that.
You wouldn't want to see that? Oh, you would want to see that.
No, I do want to see that.
So feel free to message us through these platforms if you want to hear us talk about something specific on the show, including gymnastics.
Yes, thanks again to our guest, Dale Duncan, for joining us on the podcast today and for making our middle school students better sight singers every day in the classroom.
Oh, yeah. We will see you all in a couple of weeks.
Bye!
Bye!
Pavon Publishing is delighted to be a supporter of the Choir Guys. The choral arts and singing are what they are all about. The goal of the company is to provide practical resource materials and creative performance selections for both church and school choirs of all ages. Please visit their website, pavonpublishing.com, to explore their various offerings today. If your choir needs a new fundraising partner, this is it. Kansas Made is easy to work with, and our students love selling their pastries. They are absolutely delicious. Check them out today at kansasmade.com. Sight Reading Factory now features auto assessment and gradebook integration. Save time, track progress, and help your singers grow, all in one place. Check out sightreadingfactory.com today. With Class Intercom, your students become the content creators, and you stay in control. It's social media that teaches real skills, and it saves you time. Learn more today at classintercom.com.